Hello, I'm going to try to give you a tutorial on how to solve the impossible Rubik's Cube. I got this a couple months ago and I've really enjoyed fiddling with it. I am not a professional cuber at all. My best time is around 1.5 minutes on a regular cube, and I'm doing this one in about 3.5 minutes right now. So this is just a beginner's perspective here. You can see that whenever you tilt the cube here, from looking at it basically dead on, it looks unsolved, but then if you tilt it another direction, then you can see that it is solved. The blue, orange, green, and red faces all tend to adjust color on the same axis, but if you rotate it that way, it doesn't work. I found whenever I first started trying to solve this that I would try to turn it left to right to be able to find if I had the colors solved correctly. And then I realized that both of my eyes weren't seeing the same color at the same time. And so I was having to close one eye to do it. And so I decided that I was going to tilt away to see it. So looking straight on is it doesn't look solved, and then tilting away will look solved. Sometimes the white face gets a little difficult to do this, and in this lighting it's kind of tough. Whenever you're working on this cube, you need to experiment with your lighting situation. Obviously you need to be in a well-lit room or be outside, but also just try turning yourself and turning the cube and getting different lighting orientations and see if it works. I've found that trying to get the light to bounce off kind of at a 45-degree angle on your cube helps, and then also turn slightly off center from your light source. Now, there are a couple versions of this cube, and I'm not really sure why this is. I've noticed it's not just mine that does this. Most of the sides, if you look dead on, then it looks unsolved. But for some reason on my copy and on other ones I've seen in stores, the yellow face looks solved when you look at it straight on. And so this causes some interesting problems whenever you're trying to figure it out. There is a release of this also, that the yellow face looks wrong whenever you're dead on, and then looks right whenever you tilt away, but that's not in the copy that I have. When I first got this, I mapped out all of the sides so that I could see what it would look like whenever it's solved correctly. And I hadn't unscrambled it. I hadn't scrambled the cube at all before I tried doing this. I would recommend that you memorize the white face, this is the hardest step because you've got the most options in doing this. One of the problems is whenever you scramble the cube, some of the colors will reflect whenever you turn it this way, and some of them will reflect whenever you turn it this way. So I would recommend again that you memorize the orientation here. And so beginning, and I use the beginner's method for solving this. I'm not using any fancy algorithms. I do the white cross, and then we get the white corners done, and then we'll work on the second layer, and then do the yellow cross, and then orient the yellow sides, and then get the corners in place, and then orient those corners is the method that I'm going to use here. So I'll always start with getting this white piece. You'll see that some pieces are always going to be a solid color no matter what. For instance, on the green face, these are always going to be solid green. On the orange face, these two, the centerpiece is always going to be the right color, and then there's always at least one other color on the face that matches. So with the white face here, this side piece is going to match up with the blue face. So when I unscramble it, I'm always going to start with getting the solid white piece to go with the blue. Next, I'll go for the red piece, and it's going to be the way I recognize this is it's orange and red, and then both sides will also show white. So you want to find your orange and red piece here. That's going to line up with your red face. And then the piece that ends up being correct for the green edge is going to appear yellow up here. So we want to get white, orange, yellow for your green face. And then your orange face is going to appear green. And then on this side, it's going to appear yellow. So that's going to be our first step, is line up for blue, then red, then green, and then orange. And there are more efficient ways to do this, but this is how I get started with it. So your blue face is going to be white, your red edge is going to look orange, your green edge is going to look yellow, and your orange edge is going to look green. After that, then I'll go for this piece here. This is the only piece in the whole cube that doesn't change color at all. The green piece is always going to look green no matter your orientation. The white piece always looks white, and the red piece always looks red. And so I'll get this into this diagonal piece here. Now there are 2 or 3 corners here in the cube that have a white and a blue look to it. I think they're just 2, just these. And I don't ever try to figure out which one it is. I just find one of them that's got the blue corner, the white and blue corner, and I'll just put it in there, and then I'll tilt and check it. And if I got it right, then I move on to the next one. So we do the white, then we do blue. Then here, I could never remember where the orange and the yellow corners go, except they line up kind of like a knight moves on chess. And so if I'm trying to get these 2 pieces here, then I know that I can't have orange next to each other, because I remember that they're separated. So that's going to form like how a knight moves in chess, and then the yellow is going to go right there. And again, I'm not trying to figure out like, oh, I can only put the exact right piece in here. I just rotate it in, and if it's not right, then I'll do the next one. So that's the easiest thing to check for you on getting the white face solved. And then after that, I'll work on the second layer. With the second layer, the easiest one to remember is this blue and orange edge piece, and that's because the piece that should be orange whenever it's wrong looks blue, and the piece that should be blue whenever it's wrong looks orange. So none of these edge pieces will appear white. Let's see. Actually, I'm wrong on that. That one will appear white if it's wrong. So, all right, let's go ahead and get a good scramble on this. And again, I'm not a professional cuber, so I'm sure that there are better ways to scramble it, but you know what? I don't really care. So we're going to go ahead and call that scrambled. So stepping through to solve this again, and I haven't done this trying to look through a camera before. So I'm going to go ahead and line up my white piece there. That's the blue. And now I'm going to find, this is my red edge. And so I want to get that one to line up. So we're going to rotate that in and then bring it up. And I need to put my white edge back now. Next, for my green edge, remember that one looks yellow whenever it's wrong. So here we go. I've got the piece right there. It's white and yellow, and then there's my green face. So let me see if I can get this oriented here. This is a little trickier with the camera in the way. All right, I'm gonna flip this down here. Okay, looks like we got that now, and I'm gonna check it again. So there's my blues are right, my reds are right, my greens are right. Now I need to find my orange face, which on the top here is going to appear to be green. So I found it right here. So let's move this to the bottom layer, or to the yellow layer. And then I'm going to rotate that up, and then there. All right, now I have my white cross solved, and you can see here if I rotate it away that we got that. All right, next thing I want to do is I need to reorient this piece. This is the white corner. And so there we go. Now I'm going to find my blue piece here. The white corner, it appears to be blue. And so I've got one right here, and I've got one right here. So I'm going to go ahead and start with that one. and rotate that in, and now let me check it. Okay, looks like I got it because my orange is right and my green is right. Okay, the next thing I want to do is find this white corner, which is going to look orange. And I've got one down here. So let's put it below. We're going to do right, then rotate the bottom, and then we're going to check it. Looks like I got that right. And then finally, I need to find my last white corner, and it's going to appear yellow. There are 3 different ones of these, and so I'm going to go ahead and start with this one down here. And let's check that. I've got, okay, that one actually is going to be the green side. So let me find a different one. We're going to rotate that in. There we go. That's red and that's blue. Okay, so now I've got my white face completely solved here. And then I've got my first layer done and it's oriented correctly. So now I'm going to work on the second layer. And here, I always try to solve the easiest piece first. So if I notice that I have an edge piece that's maybe it's in the wrong spot, or if it's oriented wrongly, then I don't try to take care of that until I get rid of all the easy ones up here. If you have an edge piece that is supposed to belong on the yellow face, then it might mix you up here, but I've found that, let me see if I can get one here. Okay, here we go. When I move this, if I orient it away and it doesn't change colors, then I know that's supposed to be a yellow edge rather than a second layer. So here, like this one, when I rotate it away, then I can see it changes colors. So I know that's going to be one of my second layer pieces. So here, looking at it straight on, it looks orange. I move it away, it looks blue. And then, hang on a second. Okay, no, I'm sorry. The camera is working a little differently for me. This is going to be my orange piece, and this is going to be green. So I'm going to put that here, and then I'm going to do my second layer algorithm, and then I check it, and that was right. So next thing I'm going to do is do some more tilting here and see, okay, so I know this one's a yellow layer because that's got a solid yellow piece. This one actually turns, I have to turn the cube sideways in order to get that, so that one's not right. Here we go, I found another one. So this is going to be my blue and orange edge, and when I look straight on at it, it is blue, tilted away, it's orange. So that means that this is actually going to be the orange piece. So I'm going to do my second layer algorithm again, and then I check it, and it looks like we solved that. So now I've got my blue and red edge and my red and green edge, and those are actually in each other's spot. So I'm going to go ahead and move that one out, and it's back here. So that one's supposed to be red, and that one's supposed to be green. So there we go, I solved that one. And now my last piece is, let's see, where'd it go? That's going to be this one right here. So dead on, it looks orange. If I tilt away, it looks blue. And then this one, when I tilt it away, it looks red. So I'm going to position it over the blue. And again, I'm assuming that you understand all of these algorithms. I'm just showing you how to get the cube here. The impossible cube. So looks like I've got my white layer done and I have my second layer done. So now I'm going to move on to do my white cross. And here, this one gets a little tricky because it's, at least with this cube, because I've got to look at it straight on to know that I have my, my piece correct here. So here I can see when I look at it straight on that I've got a solid line for my white cross, so that's going to be fewer iterations on the algorithm. But you always want to kind of turn it and check, because depending on the orientation, it might be a different way. So, all right, here I'm only going to need to do this once. And now I should have all my yellow pieces in place. And so now I'm going to go on to solving the yellow edges here. So I can see I've got blue in the right spot, green's in the wrong spot, red's in the wrong spot, and orange is in the wrong spot. So let me rotate this over here and check it again. Now I've got green correct and red correct, but blue and orange are wrong. So I'm going to go ahead and flip this one here, and now there we go. That should be solving all of my yellow edges. Okay, so now I need to double check and make sure the corners are right. And I'm still working on this. I'm trying to find the right way to orient the yellow corners. I have found that I'm a patriotic American, and so I found that finding the red and blue edge is a little bit easier, because if ignoring the yellow face, these are all red, white, and blue. So I know that one's that I found that if the non-yellow pieces are red, white, and blue. Then over here, it's just a matter of tilting and checking. Here, this piece is staying green no matter which way I look at it, and so I know that that's not going to go here on the blue face. This piece here is staying red no matter which way I look at it, and so the easiest way I found is just find a piece that you know is the right one, and then we're going to do our yellow corner algorithm, which is this one here. And now I'm going to just double check and see if I made things any better. Okay, my solid red piece is here on the orange face, so I'm going to go ahead and do that again. And now I believe I've got everything in the right spot. I've got a solid orange piece, which is going to rotate into here. This piece is blue and green. It's going to go in here, so that one's right. My solid green piece is here with my green edge. My solid red piece is here with my red edge. So this is ready to do the final stage. And so I'm going to keep the blue face towards me. I've got the yellow face. I've got this yellow corner towards me, so I'm going to do kind of the reverse algorithm that I learned. Spin the top. Looks like yellow is towards me again. And here, I know I've got to rotate this piece here. So there's my yellow face. So I'm going to do it this way. And then one more yellow's on this side. And now I've got a solved impossible Rubik's Cube. So there we go. Hopefully that was a little bit helpful. Again, I was just assuming that you understand the same beginner's method that I use, but it's really helpful if you memorize the faces and then tilt away. Don't do this left-right tilting. In the description, I'm going to leave a link to the Excel file that I made that just has a map of the cube in case it just gets so screwed up and you're having trouble orienting it and figuring out the way it goes. You're probably going to need to download it because of the way that I have the different colors working out. It's an Excel file, and you know what? I guess I'll leave it as a PDF, and then you'll be able to see kind of the way it's oriented. So anyway, hope that helps, and happy cubing out there.